I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely hate the teleporter. The teleporter is a hoverboard in the game, which I've been saving up all my coins to get, and I thought it was gonna have a really cool ability that I've never used in game before, only for Zap Sideways to have no other benefits other than an added animation which just distracts you when running. I mean, sure, I'll still use it because it makes me feel like Aidan Gallagher, but I feel like it's not as useful as slow falling, speed or super jump. And you could improve it as well, like allowing the player to zap on top of trains instead of, you know, going into the side of them. At least then it will have actual teleporting instead of this. Like this, I am certain, is the most broken hoverboard in the game. And I'm certain on an emotional level. However, this isn't the most broken hoverboard in Subway Surfers as a whole, at least from a lore point of view. As of making this video, there are over 158 hoverboards in the game. They are an essential part of Subway Surfers because SYBO thought it was too unrealistic for children to be skating on train tracks with normal skateboards without tripping over. So hoverboards were clearly the way to go. Yes guys, very realistic expectations here. But despite there being so many options of hoverboards, only one shows up in the animated series. Meet Roto, one of the very few hoverboards linked to the series other than Discovery, Endeavour and Secret Society, and they're only linked considering them sporting the Infinity logo. Roto is shown multiple times with Frank, even representing the same mask in the Roto bundle logo. It was released during the Buenos Aires update, which is interesting because Roto in Spanish means broken. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yes, Roto is the most broken hoverboard in Subway Surfers lore. Roll credits. Think about this. Broken? How is Roto broken? I mean, it seems to be functioning the same way that the other hoverboards work, so maybe the origins of its name doesn't tie back to the game, but more or less the animated series. So let's take a look at what happens in that. In the series, Roto works as a drone that films and documents our main characters only to report it back to a group called Infinity, which then rank the characters in different levels of interest and decide whether or not they need to be monitored and to what extent. So it is an important role that Roto fills, and it seems that Roto does this effortlessly. So even in the series, Roto seems fine, not broken in any shape or form. So could this name just be misleading? I don't think so. Because there are other definitions for broken, and if we look at it from a different point of view, maybe Roto isn't broken necessarily, but more corrupt. Let's look at another one of Infinity's inventions, Franquette. We covered her in the last video. She was a robot made from Infinity's technology, but taken by the Bunny Cult and used as their own tool for collecting dossiers. And I think the same thing has happened to Roto, being taken from Infinity and used as their own robot. My theory is that the Bunny Cult have succeeded in taking Infinity's technology, without them even knowing. They've infiltrated all their systems and are able to access the data Infinity have on the main group. It also explains this scene here.
Accessing dossier. Decrypting file.
This shows that Infinity is actively collecting data on the bunny cult, which clearly shows that they see them as a threat and in need to be of future surveillance. However, Frank has access to and deletes all the files and information on his group, the bunny cult. Now, this threw me through a loop before, because if they were working together, why was Infinity keeping a record of Frank like the rest of the characters? But if they're not working together, why does Frank have access to their footage? Now that we know that the bunny group is the equivalent to Anonymous in the Subway Surfers lore, which we kind of guessed from the beginning, we also know that the bunny cult now has a major upper hand, knowing everything there is to know about Subway Surfers, including all the characters and the alien technology that they just discovered. And while the bunny cult's intentions remain unclear, we can only assume the worst when it comes to life in Subway City. And while Afton remains the man behind the slaughter, Frank is off to make a name for himself as the man behind the computer virus. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!